Alright, this is going to be part 8 of Legend of Dragoon. And we are headed to the mountain, I guess, to see what's going on with the divine naughty dragon. I guess we can finally go the way it's not been letting us go for a while. I think I just got a new addition. The monster was headed in the direction of Leningrad and came back to the Mountain of the Mortal Dragon, says the soldier. Dart says, before the divine dragon left, did anyone else pass through? The knight says, no sir, no one. We didn't even let a mouse pass, unless they can fly like that monster. Miranda says, gotcha. Stay on guard here. We're off to defeat it. Yes ma'am, good luck. Okie dokie. Whatever. Oh my. Kind of an ugly place. I think they thought they put a status effect on Lavitz, but I guess not. Or Albert, or whatever his name is. Hello, Mr. Dragon, I'm coming to kill you. Just weird that it like cycles back. I'm pretty sure it's the right way, so no big deal. One of my games actually got here a little early, so my goal is to finish this game today. Miranda says it's coming from the top of the mountain. That was quite the magic power. Awfully powerful mega magic. Whatever it is, that is our destination. Rose says it is unburdening its anger all over the world. The anger towards the Winglies who sealed him, and the humans who dominate the dragons. Miranda says, then, does this mean that Leningrad was chosen to be the place for the declaration of war? Dart says, we'll settle that on the top of the mountain before the next town becomes a victim. Total vanishing. Dart says, the sound of swords. Has somebody already started to fight against it? Rose says, let's go. Either way, we have to join in. Rose says, you can go back now. Dart says, there's nobody here who would think that way. Meru says, can I excuse myself? Cashel says, "You're the representative of the Winglies. Come on." Miranda says, "Are you gonna go back to your forest and hide?" Meru says, "I'm just kidding. When I do it, I can do it." Albert says, "I made up my mind already. Anyway, if the people of Serdio knew about this, they would all fall over." Dart says, "Let's do it." Dart says, "Lloyd." Lloyd says, "It is earlier than I expected." Well, it is the future King of Dragons. Even with the Dragon Buster, he still gave me a hard time. But he is almost dead. There's no need for you to get involved. Dart says, "You're fighting against the Divine Dragon?" Albert says, "You broke the seal on the strongest dragon of all, but you couldn't control it? It's the truth, isn't it?" Miranda says, "What are you yapping about? We can kill this man anytime. The Divine Dragon takes priority." Lloyd says, "The sacred sister of Mil Sasso is a replacement for the other girl. How convenient." Dart says, "Shut up." That's a chonky boy. He has a tiny little face and a tiny little neck, but a chonky body. Dart says, "Yarg." I guess he just magically knows how to use that somehow. Divine Dragons and Dragoons' powers are severely reduced, I guess. So we shouldn't turn into a Dragoon, is my guess. Oof, that's an ouchie. Oh boy. Might already be getting murdered. Should have put on armor with better magic resist, but too late's now, my child. Just one-shots people. Fun stuff. Oh my, it's about to use a super spell, I guess. That wasn't as bad as I thought, so... Alright. It died. Probably need to go buy some more items, though. That is... ... Yes. This is the Dragoon spirit. Oh my. Lloyd says this is the soul of the divine dragon, the flame of a soul that sparkles only at the last moment of a dragon's life. Its crystal is the Dragoon spirit. As I expected, it does not sparkle in my hands. Dart says, Lloyd, was this your purpose all along? Lloyd says, this is just a little prize. I don't need additional power to destroy the world. The divine dragon was a mere obstacle to my ideal. I fought against it for that reason alone. Albert says, you're the one who formed the conspiracy to destroy the world. Lloyd says, the King of Serdio, what brought you all the way here? Is it the frustration of having your moon item taken, or your feelings toward your loyal friend Lavitz? Dart says, don't even mention that name. Lloyd says, it is too early to settle things yet. Dart says, wait. Doggies are being brats, so I took on this, turned on my dog bark canceling machine thingy. Anyways, Lloyd says, don't be too hasty. I'll see you soon. Dart says, where is he going? Albert says, he is leaving the mountain. We must chase him. Alright. This game never lets me teleport out of dungeons. It's so rude. Dart says Lloyd. Dart says, I didn't know he was one of the Wingleys. Rose? Rose, wake up. Can you tell me who I am? I thought you were dead, says Rose. Don't worry, I'm carrying out your will. We took this world back together. I won't let them ruin it. Virage Embryo, the moon with black power. Dart says, are you talking about the black monster? 18 years ago in Neat. For the third or fourth time. Dart's father says, "Stay here. Take care of Dart. Your father is a strong person. You have that strength in you, so wait here and play by yourself, okay?" Dart says, "Where are you going?" "I'm going back to the village to fight. I'll protect your hometown with your father. Live strong, my child." Mom, Dad. Jason. I'm just kidding. This is my dad's important, shiny stone. Mom, Dad. Count 108 years, and when the moon that never sets glares red, the moon child descends to the earth and shall give a holy blessing to the world. Fester said that. What really appears is not the moon child, but the black monster. What kind of relationship exists between said monster who destroys all and the moon child who is supposed to bless the world? Rose, what do you know about these things? Mirror says, "Dart, Rose, I finally found you." Oh boy, Rose passed out. Move away, I'll carry her first. Mirror says, "Damn, I'm beat." Rose says, "It's my fault letting him go." I apologize for it. It's not your fault, Rose. Nobody knew he was a wingly who could use magic. Haschel says, "Don't worry, we'll find out where he went." I agree. Lloyd's objectives are still the divine moon objects. Dart says, "Miranda, there is no need for you to hide it. Tell us about the divine moon object in Milsasso." Meru says, "It's not like you to hesitate." Miranda says, "I guess there's no choice but to tell you everything. The divine moon objects are said to be brought by winglies, and it is said that they have a dreadful magic power concealed within. That is the reason they were never allowed to be taken outside. A national treasure that has a very close secret. It is called the Moon Mirror. The successive thrones have been the keys to opening the seal." Oh, it cannot be. Dart says, "Queen Teresa is in danger." Danger, danger. Sister Wink says, "I wonder where Miranda and the other people are, and if they're safe. To make sure of that, we, the Sacred Knighthood, are going to act as reinforcements. Don't worry, there's no way our sister Miranda can lose." Yes, indeed. We cannot imagine her losing, but I cannot imagine that the giant dragon will lose either. "Please don't say such an ill-omened thing," says Wink. The knight says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. Sister Miranda, Dart, and company are legendary dragoons. We might not even be needed." "Dragoons? They are mere humans," says a voice. Wink says, "Who is it?" Bardell says humans don't need to know my name. Oh no, are you a Wingly? Why, yes I am. We were the rulers of you humans in ancient times. And now, I will be your executioner. Wink says, oh my god. Bardell says this is what you asked for. This is the great battle of liberation, and your scream is its overture. You conceited humans can all go to hell. Lloyd says the conceited one is you. Oh, you are Mr. Lloyd. Lloyd says you're so easily overtaken. Bardell says, how did you block my magic power? Lloyd says, I don't need to provide you with an answer. Bardell says, watch your mouth. Wink says, Mr. Lloyd. Bardell says, I won't let anyone hinder the liberation of the Winglies. I will annihilate all the humans. Lloyd says, liberation, huh? You're so old-fashioned. A world without humans won't be any different from the forest that you're cooped up in now. I've made many sacrifices for my ideals, but your ideals cannot be achieved unless you annihilate everything. Bardell says, of course, my grudge, my hatred, I will settle them all with human lives. You should not be alive, says some other voice, presumably. Bardell says, I won't die alone. Wink says, Lloyd. Lloyd says, I went out of my way. Wink says, you're wounded. Let us treat you at the castle. Such a special little event. Alright, come on. Oh, this game. There we go. The commander says, Sister Miranda. Miranda says, we were successful defeating the dragon. What happened to you? You're injured. The commander says, Queen Teresa was abducted. Miranda says, what did you say? Dart says, by who? The commander says, a man named Lloyd. Dart says, we're too late. Miranda says, what were you doing? Albert says, do you know where they took her? Sister Wink might know. Miranda says, my sisters are safe, aren't they? Everyone's waiting for the group to come back to the Crystal Palace. What a great leader. She just punches all these people in the face for giving her information. She seems like a bitch to me. It was a pathetic failure, and I was right in front of the Queen. I am so sorry. Okay. Miranda says, what do you mean the Queen was taken away? What happened? Let me tell you, says Luana. A few days ago, when the howling of the dragon from the mountain of mortal dragons stopped, we assumed he had been vanquished. Seti says everyone was very happy about it. And I guess we're having a flashback. The Queen says, how long has it been since we have stopped hearing the howling of the divine dragon? Luana says it's been about a week. Don't worry, Sister Luana said the feeling of the divine dragon is gone. Wink says, I'm back. I have good news. As Sister Luana said, it seems they defeated the divine dragon. Teresa says, I'm glad. Now we can focus on the recovery of the country. I appreciate it. Please give the knights their well-earned rest. Wink says, about the knights. My knighthood is currently being treated. A Wingly who had something against humans suddenly had raided us. Teresa says, Winglies attacked you. According to Miranda, they're a friendly species. Some of the Winglies are militant. Wink says, this gentleman repelled them so that we were able to come back to the castle safe and sound. His name is Lloyd, Your Majesty. Lloyd says, it's a pleasure to meet you. Wink says, not only that, but it was Mr. Lloyd who gave us the good news of the successful vanquishing of the divine dragon. The Queen says, how did you find out about it? Lloyd says, it was a coincidence. I saw Sister Miranda and her companions who completed the vanquishing on the mountain. Teresa says, I understand. Let me express my gratitude. Wink says, actually, it was not the first time I was saved by Mr. Lloyd. Seti says, oh, I remember. This gentleman is the man of the fate Sister Wink was talking about, isn't he? Seti says, Queen Teresa, she was saved from the bandits in Deneau by this gentleman as well. Luana says, it wasn't a coincidence, was it? Helping Wink and coming here. Wink says, Luana, what are you talking about? Luana says, the murderous intention you conceal inside. I cannot have you disguise that in front of me. Queen Teresa says, Wink, Seti, stay back. I feel it too, something is wrong. Lloyd says, I didn't want to make a scene, however, sometimes it cannot be helped. Wink says, Lloyd, what on earth? The Queen says, do not come any closer. What do you want? Lloyd says, I desire the moon mirror. The Queen says, how do you know about such a thing? Lloyd says, you don't need to worry about that. We should just take me there, Your Majesty. Wink says, answer me, from the beginning. That was your purpose? Queen Teresa says, Wink, get away. Lloyd says, I just desire the power to create a utopia. Luana says, Queen Teresa, he is reading your mind. Lloyd says, shall we go to the last divine moon object? Dart says, so he wants to end this. Miranda, where is the moon mirror? It's in the Tower of Flanvel, west of the Kashua Glacier. Rose says Teresa is the key to the tower. Sister Miranda says, I'll take care of the rest from here. Wink says, Miranda. Dart says, we will bring the Queen back. We are not going to let Lloyd get what he wants. Alrighty. Shazam! Let's get the fuck out of here. We got places to be. Motherfucker! Is this the inn? Haha. Shazamo! I need some Angel's Prayer. Good enough, I guess. Alright, looks like that's our glacier. Dart says, what a cold place. Hashel says, it pierces through my aged bones. Miranda says this is a land where the earth is eternally covered under ice. I understand that it must be harsh on someone who has never been here before. Miru says, damn, I'm totally dying. Do you often visit such a place? Miranda says it's been a while since I came all the way out here, but I would often come here to find solace for my loneliness. Miru says, you've got such a kind mother like Queen Teresa. How could you have a lonely time? Miranda says, the Queen is not my birth mother. My true mother abandoned me. After that, I met the Queen. She cherished me as if I were her own daughter. Since then, I've never felt loneliness again. La, 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 la. Shazam! Another one of these zigzaggy places, I guess. Oops, whatever. Right to the Tower of Flanville, to the Snowfield Warning Slide. Hold. According to my memory, the tower is this way. Okay, so I guess we can't go that way yet. Customers, I can't believe it. Okay, so these people are a shop, I guess. Nothing interesting there. Might as well heal up. Gushing magma. Can't carry whatever that is. Perfect, just in case I run into some weird shit. There's the save right there. What was that? Congal feels an angry monster. Hashel says, I cannot imagine what they are, thinking to live in such a cold place. Congal says, monsters don't know the cold, they only know how to kill. Thank you, but no thank you. Anyways, here it comes. Oh my, that's an ugly little creature. Hopefully I can finally use my actual Dragoon form. Got our neighbor's dog next door that just barks non-stop. It's a newer dog, and I think that they don't know what they're doing, so they just leave it in their front yard, gated all the time, and it just constantly barks for attention, which is really unfortunate. Because while I don't hear it so well, like, in the house, the dogs can hear it, and they do bark back, so it's kind of annoying. Push the wrong button there. That's okay though. We barely won. Thanks to that, I got warmed up. Miranda says, hurry up, we must get to the tower. Alrighty. Dart says, look. Miranda says, this is the tower. It's the ruin where the moon mirror was placed. Miru says, it's swirly. Albert says again, this doesn't seem to be built by humans. Rose says it's not. According to the legend, it was the Winglies' floating fortress during the Dragon campaign. Hashel says this thing can fly? Rose says Winglies in the past used to have an enormous amount of magical power. Dart says, then it wouldn't be strange if this much magic power is concealed in the divine moon objects. Albert says, for the people of Serdio, for King Zior, and for Princess Emile. Albert says, no, this is a life or death matter for the entire continent. Dart says that's even more of a reason that we must stop the ambitions of Lloyd right here. By having gay sex with him in the butthole. Oh yeah! Actually, probably not. Hazardous breath. That's very rude. Whatever that is, we cannot carry it. The spirit ring, ing, ing, ing. Oh boy. What a weird place. Miranda says the moon mirror isn't there. Rose says the Dragoon spirit of the Divine Dragon is resonating. Dart says Lloyd, finally we cornered him. Inside the butthole, inside the butthole. That's where the penis goes, deep inside that ass. Oh, I think I forgot to get some MP items. Which, apparently, we don't want to do, because he's got that Dragoon Buster shit. Oh, yay. Looks like we're gonna start freezing the game. Pretty sure I saved, but we're gonna do it again. Just to be safe. Let's reset. Alright, usually that fixes the issue. Lloyd says, I appreciate your cooperation. Teresa says, what are you? Lloyd, here they are. I just got all 3 of the moon objects. Now the world will be reborn into the utopia that Emperor Diaz and I desire. Dart says the world will be reborn. What are you talking about? Lloyd says you should know, Your Majesty, the evolutionary plan created by the Great Will Soa and the flow of evolution woven by the divine tree. You humans are merely the 106th in the plan, and Winglies are 107th. I desire the 108th evolution, a utopia created by the last species. For that, I will use every conceivable means. Dart says, Lloyd, that's all you want to say? Lloyd says, I'll let my sword say the rest. Shall we finish? Alright, just stab him. Awesome. One hit. Okay. wrong button. Oopsie doopsies. Oh, come on. Here I was thinking I had saved, but apparently I had not. Oh, this guy's gonna avoid all my attacks now, I guess. I don't know why that's not working properly, but such is life sometimes. Well, at least now we're hitting them. It appears he's gonna use magic pretty soon, so let's just do that first. I'm just trying to keep everyone alive so they all get some experience. This guy does not want that to happen, apparently. Alright, shouldn't do that then. Alright, got that bitch killed. The mystery lady says, please, forgive Lloyd. Or, I think that's Wink, actually. Rose says, Albert, don't you need to be upstairs? Lloyd killed Lavitz. Albert says, I trust Dart with the rest. He will bring us the right answer. Rose says, I agree, and so does everybody else. Lloyd says, why? Why did you shield me? I took many people's lives away for my own ideal, as well as the Divine Moon objects. I used you. Wink says, even if it is the truth, the fact that you saved me is still true. Besides, your death won't solve anything. Shauna was taken away. Dart says, what did you say? Wink says, by the man named Emperor Diaz. He told us to bring the 3 objects and Lloyd, and come to a place called Velweb. Lloyd says Emperor Diaz finally began to take action. Take them to him. Even without me, my utopia will be built by Emperor Diaz. I completed all my tasks. Now I have to settle up for what I've done so far. Lloyd says, kill me and go to Velweb. I dedicate my death to your departure. Lloyd says, is that out of pity? Dart says, your death won't bring anyone who died back. Lloyd, I'm gonna make you see it through to the end. Lloyd says, what passion? Is this the power that drives them? Albert says, Shauna was taken. I see. Rose says, when we go there, we can reveal the truth about Emperor Diaz. Albert says, whoever they are, they're dangerous. Haschel says, it is unforgivable to take dear Hannah. Dear Shauna is a hostage. Meru says, exactly. I'll beat him up. Dart says, Queen Teresa, we are headed to Velweb. Teresa says, I understand. I will let you hold on to the moon mirror. Maybe we were in denial, surrounding ourselves with a comfortable life that was stagnant, yes. We humans are not the only species. They were all given life by Soa's plan. Now is the time to remember the assault of the Divine Dragon, the existence of the Winglies, the Divine Moon Objects, the utopia that Lloyd and Emperor Diaz desire. And you, Dragoons. Everything is forcing us to remember it, as if things were manipulated by some great will called fate. Dart says, even if that is so, I do not care. I will take Shauna back, even from fate. Teresa says, Miranda, you are one of the Dragoons. Go with Dart. Discover the meaning of fate given by Soa. Can I ask you a question? Yes. Why did you save Wink? I had no reason. I see. Anyways. Did he, like, join our party or something? I guess not. Alright, so where do I go now? Pretty sure it was that way, but... Gonna make me climb my way out of here, are ya? Oh, yeah. Gotta go this way, I guess. Actually, we should go get some items that replenish MP. Which one of these bastards is which? Cuerto. Eh, for good measure. Oh boy. I really wish people wouldn't speak in this game after you, like, end a dialogue tree. Alright, so maybe we go this way? Oh the snowfield, I guess. Lloyd says, I have something to tell you before we go to Velweb about Diaz. Dart says, I see, with this blizzard, it's not a bad time to take a break. Diaz says, make the world regenerate. The ruin of Cadessa 3 years ago. Diaz says the world is rotten, like a fallen fruit. It has the same smell as the world ruled by Melbu Frama, the Wingly dictator. The world where inertia is considered to be peace, and the easy path leads to devolution. The overture to the destruction has already begun. Devolution? Are you saying that is the reason our magic power has deteriorated? Diaz says it is not only for you Winglies, it is the danger that all species are facing. Lloyd says, how can we regenerate the world? Diaz says, you Winglies are the 107th species, the great will the creator Soa prepared the last. The last species is a god which will regenerate the world and lead us to a utopia. That seems really simple-minded. Count 108 years, and when the moon that never sets glares red, the moonchild descends to the earth and shall give a holy blessing to the world. Lloyd says the moonchild of this legend is the last species. It is the god that gives holy bliss to the world. It is the truth. Then why does the black monster continue to kill the moonchild? That devil wants to stop the evolution after imagining himself scorched to death by the blessed light brought by the last species. Dart says, Lloyd, what is this relationship between the divine moon objects you have and the child of the moon? Lloyd says the ancient Winglies feared their status as the supreme species would end, and sealed up the 108th species. The keys to dissolving the signet are the gem, dagger, and mirror, named after the moon. Albert says, you were going to release the moonchild, in other words, the god, using the divine moon objects. Lloyd says, if I don't do it, someone else eventually will. Even the last god cannot escape from the fate determined by Soa. That's all I wanted to tell you. The rest you'll learn from Diaz. Dart says, if you desire a utopia, why did you take Shauna away? What is she to you? Lloyd says the truth will be unveiled in Velweb. Alright, I guess our little nap is over. Meru says, Dart, the blizzard's over. Cool. Let's get on with this fucking shit. What the hell just happened there? Meru says, hey, it's your fault, Dart. We slipped and ended up down here. These are the ancient characters of the Winglies. Let me read it. It's too hard to read. Dart says, can you do better than that? There's also some human characters. Giganto, too. Dart says, I was bad at the classics. Can you read them, Rose? The cursed land where the decline of the Wingleys began. Nobody is allowed to touch the door. The Judge Nomos of the court of Xanabatos. Rose says it was one of the most prosperous cities of the ancient Wingleys. Dart says, and it's over there? Rose says no, if my memory is correct, that should be Fort Magrod. But Velweb is up there. Let's go back, quickly. Dart says, okay. It's a Yeti. He begged for spaghetti, but yet he had none. Alright. Probably need to level up anyway. The bosses have gotten harder. Shazam! Shabing bong! Lloyd says, here we are at the capital city. 7 towers. Is Diaz waiting for us over there? Lloyd says, that is the tower of the 7 Dragoons. The throne of the Holy Emperor is beneath. Albert says, we are standing at the legendary place where humans began their liberation. I wonder if it is an abominable place as well. Meru says, you think too much. It's the same as Cadessa. When you drag the past around, you cannot walk anywhere. Albert says, it is true, Meru, the Forbidden Land, that was the royal capital of the Wingleys. And this Velweb is a mere historic ruin. Dart says, yes, we can do nothing but settle for the present. Okay. Shazam! Rose says, Dart, look at that huge battery. Humans shot arrows from there, aiming at the tower. And back then, this is how humans thought. That the arrow would not only shear the darkness that converts the earth, covers the earth rather, but also shear their corrupted hearts, which were accustomed to being ruled. Dart says, why are you suddenly starting to say this? I don't know. I still cannot tell. But if we meet the guy who claims that he's Diaz, I think we can find out the reason. I'm speaking nonsense again. Let's keep going. A hero from history is waiting for us. Okay. Shirley says, I've been waiting for you. Rose says, why are you here? I thought you ascended to heaven. Shirley says, before that I had something I had to take care of here in Velweb. I couldn't leave the trapped souls alone in this world. Rose says, what are you talking about? Shirley says, the 4 souls of the Dragoons who lost their lives during the Dragon campaign. Their souls were drawn to Mayfill, the gate of the Inferno from which you can never return, is requesting the souls of these Dragoons. Rose says, the Death City Mayfill. I thought it was destroyed. Shirley says, I do not know how, but it is true that the gate of the Inferno is open. Rose, I made their souls inert, and anchored them to this place. But there is a limit to my power. After you meet Diaz, please visit this place again, and lead their souls to heaven. Rose says the souls of the Dragoons are wandering somewhere in the towers, but we have to take care of something else for now. Let's go and find Diaz. Okay. Oh, baby. Where the fuck are we going? Well, there's nothing there. Okay. There's nothing up here, I guess. Children, we will protect your future. That is one of the Dragoons who lived during the Dragon campaign. Rose says Shirley said that she is making them inert. That is why it does not recognize us. There is no reason to be here now. Okay. Anybody, please satisfy me. Rose again says there is no reason to be here. Okay. Maybe I just need to take the path down, wherever that may be. Is it here, perhaps? Oof, too many fights in here. Okay. Maybe this is the way I'm supposed to go. Would be lovely if the game would let me just wander around. But yeah, that's what happens when you got it on turbo mode. It feels like you get attacked every like 5 seconds. Turbo mode! What is that? can't carry that, whatever it is.
Stop.
Shauna. Lloyd says, Diaz, here are the divine moon objects. There are no more obstacles to hinder our utopia. Release the girl. Diaz says, fine. Albert says, Diaz, what are you going to do with the divine moon objects? Didn't Lloyd tell you? My only desire is the advent of the last species. Rose says, if you are the true Diaz, you should know what that implies. Total destruction. Lloyd says, what do you mean? Diaz says, Lloyd, well done bringing me these artifacts. Now we can let the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, the last species we desire, the true Virage, arise. I will create the utopia you wanted after the Virage embryo purges the world. Rose says everything so far was an overture to destruction. Lloyd, he showed you a false utopia from the beginning. Lloyd says you lied to me. My utopia exists in the future of this world. What I desire is the creation of a future, not the destruction of the world. Diaz says, I don't need you anymore. Dart says, Diaz, what are you thinking? I don't need to hide. Oh no. Who will the naughty boy be revealed as when he takes off his cloak?
Rose, Dart. Father?
It was his daddy. Rose thought he was dead. Dart says, is that really you? I thought you died. With Melbu Frama on each other's swords, says Rose. Dart says, Rose, what are you talking about? Zeeg says, now, I can tell you everything. The beginning of the world was an absolute nothingness, filled with darkness. The creator Soa sowed a seed to the earth. This was the plan of Soa that created all species, the birth of the divine tree. Eventually, the fruit of the divine tree ripened and fell to the ground to fill the world with life. Gigantos from the 97th, Minentos from the 99th, dragons from the 105th, humans from 106, Winglies 107, and at the end, the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, was to be born from the 108th fruit. Soa desired the destruction and regeneration of the world by the Virage embryo, the god of destruction. However, 11,000 years ago, the Winglies found out the tragedy waiting for them and sealed the fruit by separating the flesh and soul. The flesh of the god, the Virage embryo, was taken away from the Winglies as the moon that never sets, which glows in the sky. And the soul of the god was captured in the crystal sphere, and Melbu Frama kept it, to withdraw unlimited magic power, and to conquer the other creatures. However, even with unlimited magical power, the domination was not eternal. Humans arose with Dragoons in front. Nothing was their match because they obtained the power of the dragon, and finally they drove Melbu Frama into a corner. I felt certain of my victory, and it was in the next moment that the spell of petrification cast by Melbu had captured me. I've waited for 11,000 years, time almost eternal dissolved by the spell of Melbu, and and I was released from my captivity. Days spent with Rose became the eternal past, and I lived as the father of Dart in this age, until the tragic day in Neat. Rose says I cannot believe it. Zeke says I am here. That is a fact. Dart says then both Dad and Rose are the heroes of the Dragon campaign. Zeke says yes, but that's not all. Humans made a mistake. They destroyed the crystal sphere, which was the container of the soul, along with the royal capital, Cadessa. The Virage embryo, the god of destruction, was exultant. It could now be born. The free soul released from the crystal sphere started to wander, in order to go back to the body, left in the moon that never sets, to be born as the last god, and to finally destroy the world. The soul without a body possesses a human body and heads for the moon that never sets. By repeating the transmigration every 108 years, you now know the soul of the god of destruction is the Moonchild, the truth of the Moonchild in the legend. Once we count 108 years, and when the moon that never sets glares in red, the Moonchild descends to the earth and shall give a holy blessing to the world. The holy blessing is destruction. The destruction is Soa's will. This is the fate that rules the future of our world. But there was one Dragoon who found out about it. In order to deter the birth of the god of destruction, she has had to kill the moon children. By stopping her own time, she was even called a demon. That is the true self of Rose, the black monster. Dart says Rose is the black monster. Dart says, tell me it's not true. Rose says the Moonchild has to be killed, and the people around it too, before they become servants of the god of destruction. Dart says, so you're responsible for Neat. Rose says, for 11,000 years there have been no exceptions. Dart is sad. He says, why do you have to be the black monster? Zeke says, that's it. Dart says, what are you gonna do with Shauna? Let me tell you one more time, says Zeke. Rose, you thought the Princess Luvia you killed 18 years ago was the Moonchild. But it is not true. Luvia had a twin sister. Rose says, no. Zeke says Shauna is the true Moonchild, the soul of the Virage embryo, the god of destruction. I will dissolve the signet of the moon that never sets, and cross it with the Moonchild. Now I have everything in my hands. Dart says, release Shauna. Zeke says, and are you going to kill her to save the world? Rose says, I'll do it for him. Zeke says, this is the limitation of humans. Rose says, Zeke, why? All is the will of the creator, Zoa. My hands start the world, and they end the world. Yes, fate desires it to be so. Dart says, Dad, wait! Dart yells out for Shauna, but there is nothing but blackness. Do I want to save? Why not? Chapter 4, Moon and Fate. Alright, change disk, ISO, disk number 4. And there it goes. Miru says, I'm totally beat. Albert says, we came all this way. We cannot go back. Kongol says, there's no need to return. The city of Wingley's, Rose said, is just over there. What was it called? Ulara? I hope we can find out what we should do there. Miru says, I hope so as well. Well, I guess they made up quick. Who could imagine there is such a place under the ground of the desert? It must be a gravity created when the water dried up. The world is going on without anything knowing, until the end. I wonder if this little world has experienced an end like that before. Dart says it is not determined yet that our world will end. Albert says that's true. We're still here. Well, let's do a hard save for sure. What the hell? Oh boy. Just monsters all the way up my ass, I guess. Seriously? I guess they just endlessly spawn over here. That's fun. Alright. So we need to move instantly or that thing will climb up our butthole. I don't think I want to go in there. And apparently the game did not save. So that's awesome. Oh boy. This way? Guess not. Lovely. Miru says water. It's refreshing. Here no monster, we can rest. What will the Winglies and Yulara know? They should know the way we, or at least I, should take. There is no need for you to come. Miranda says, why do you say this? Don't you understand it's no longer a problem for you alone? Rose says you just found out about it a couple days ago and now you think you can judge me. It's not as easy as pursuing one Wingly. Miranda says, you say it as if it's easy. Don't be so conceited. Albert says, stop that, it won't lead us anywhere. Rose, no one can understand the weight of fate you have carried, but we can at least lighten the burden. Dart says, that's why we're going with you. If you have the strength to argue, you have the strength to go on. There's no other way, is there? To kill Shauna. The bitch must die. Oh yeah. I think I went the wrong way. Well, whatever that is, I cannot pick it up. Looks like I need to go this meow. garbage in this place. That's not where I thought I was supposed to be. Oh gosh, is that enough freaking enemies? I have gotten lost. Alright, so I am where I think I'm supposed to be, I think. There we go. Of course, it's gonna have an enemy just right there in case you stop moving for 1 fucking second. So cute. Alright, I think we're done with that little shithole. Run into the light, my child. Spring Breath Town, Lara. Even if an adventurer is lucky enough to make it through the Death Frontier, nobody else can proceed from here. Time was stopped for me 11,000 years ago with a spell of this choker, and this is the only way to see Lara, the Spring Breath Town. Albert says, but where is it? Haschel says, all I see is desert. Miru says, it isn't. Haschel, I sense it. I sense people's feelings over there. Rose says, we can fly over there with this. Are you afraid? Dart says, I think you're the one who's afraid. Rose says, maybe. Dart says, we are standing by you. Rose says, I know. Dart says, let's go. Okay. Karin says, welcome to Yalara, the Spring Breath Town. I am the guard of the teleporting device. I'm a good friend of Rose's. Long time no see. Rose, you're starting to regain a sense of time, aren't you? Not only that, you've recovered a lot of other things as well. Dart says, are you the person who stopped time for Rose? No, it was Charle Frama. She is the person we have to meet now. Rose has been carrying the fate of the world all alone while shedding tears of blood, says Karen. Can you go with her? Rose says, Karen, stop it. I don't need to force them. Dart says, I've already settled things with the Black Monster. The only thing left is that I have to complete this journey with my companions. Karen says, if you understand that, I have nothing else to say. Go to Charlie first. Until you do, I will close the way moving forward. Okay. Guess they're over this way. Maybe. Rose says, Miata, where's Charlie? You are wondering because she would normally be taking care of these babies, right? Charlie is preparing herself because, well, the things we didn't tell you about, right? Zeke told you them. Rose says it must be about the moon signet. Tell me what you know. The signet is a sphere. It is a sealing device that was created to be the last barrier, just in case the Moonchild reached the moon that never sets. Rose says even my mistake was in your plan. You're some scary people. Miata says even more scary is Zieg. He is trying to destroy the signet sphere, using the divine moon objects. Dart says, wait a minute. You made the signet sphere just because you were afraid of the birth of the god of destruction? And why did you make tools that can destroy the signet? Miata says, ask Charlie. It was decided between his siblings. Rose says, I'll do just that. Okay. Oh, Rosie, darling, I've been waiting for you. Rose says, I don't need your greetings. You know what I want to ask you. Charlie says, how scary, but before that, can you introduce me to the son of Zig? Rose says this is Dart. Doesn't he look just like Ziggy? But Rose, honey, it's complicated. You have to fight with the son of someone who used to be your significant other. And furthermore, the enemy is the significant other. Rose says, do you want me to give you a knuckle sandwich? Charlie says, sorry, honey. But I'm really concerned, so I'm intentionally making it happy and delightful so that you won't be depressed, sweetheart. Rose says, you never change. Dart says, Charlie, if you know, please tell us where we should head to. Charlie says, you have the same eyes as Zieg. I know. I've been waiting for you in order to tell you everything. What would you like to know? About the signet sphere. Ziggy is trying to break the signet of the moon that never sets with the magic power of the divine moon objects. That signet is the signet sphere. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about this. Rose says I have to apologize I missed the Moonchild, Shauna. Charlie says, but you still have time. The signet of the moon that never sets is not yet broken. Dart says, where is the signet? It is in the past. They were placed in 5 cities, but 3 remain. Albert says, that's why they needed the same number of divine moon objects. What happened to the other 2, asks Dart. One was destroyed in the royal capital, Cadessa, during the Dragon campaign, and the other was lost when the divine dragon assaulted the Crystal Palace. Rose says, does this mean without the divine moon objects, the signet sphere can be destroyed? Charlie says the divine moon objects are just tools that conceal vast amounts of magic power. So in order to destroy the signet sphere, having the same amount of magic power as the divine moon objects is sufficient. Dart says my dad knew about this and made Lloyd collect them. Charlie says it doesn't seem like him, and it's so indirect. Plus, something is strange. I wonder how he knows. Rose says not only that, but he knew that Shauna was the Moonchild. Dart says I want to ask about the moon that never sets. Charlie says it's the 108th fruit. It was conceived as the god of destruction that ends the world. That's why we separated it into its soul and flesh and sealed them both away. My baby brother Melbu sealed the soul, which was the source of the magic power in the crystal sphere. But when he fought with Ziggy, it was broken. Then the soul escaped from the crystal sphere and started to transmigrate into a human body. Since then it has been called the Moonchild. What is left in the sky is the moon that never sets. When the Moonchild goes back to the moon that never sets, The Virage embryo, the god of destruction, is born. So we needed Rosie to take on this very important task. Please understand her. Dart says, tell me about my daddy. Charlie says, you are concerned, aren't you? Dart says, why does he have to destroy the world? Charlie says, that's the one thing I don't understand. Rose says, but he was unmistakably Zig. Charlie says Zig was the fiancé of Rose. They crossed swords and love. Just look at them. It made me feel embarrassed. Rose says, stop right there. I want to talk alone with Zig about our memories. Dart says, I agree. So why are we making items that can break the signet? Rose says that's right. If you were not planning to allow the Virage embryo to be born, you'd never need such a thing. Charlie says I didn't want to, but my baby brother Melbu insisted. Rose says that's not an explanation. Charlie says you're so uptight. Alright, let me explain it. We sealed the soul in the crystal sphere in order to draw lots of magical power and rule over the other creatures. I wanted to stop this because it would make him a dictator, but even though we have different appearances or capabilities, we are the same. We should be able to live together on good terms. That is why I created the Signet Sphere in order to weaken the magic power of the Crystal Sphere. Rose, without telling you that, the 5 signets that protect the moon that never sets restrain the magic power that flows from there. My operation was a big success. Rose says, but Melbu found out about it and created the objects. Charlie says, I guess he was prepared so that he could destroy the signets anytime he wanted to. Rose says, I get it. Where are the rest of the signets? Charlie says, that is the most important information for you. Because Zeke has the Divine Moon objects, he can break the signets whenever he chooses. Listen carefully, the rest of the 3 are located in ancient cities. One is called Aglis, one is called Zenbato, and the other Mayfill. Rose says those cities still exist. Charlie says it's surprising. Of course, they were badly damaged. Dart says, how do we get there? Charlie says, go to Rogue, then your way will be open. Haschel says, Rogue, that's my hometown. Charlie says, it is already open, isn't it? It'll be night soon. Why don't you look around until tomorrow morning? Okay. Don't worry about it. Go take a walk in Yalara. Dart, are you going outside? Everyone left a little while ago. Okay. What is this place? Guess I'm looking for stuff. Dart says, the way is open. Shauna, I'll be there soon. Dart says Rose. Rose says you really forgive me? Dart says, don't say anything, it's already in the past. Take your sword. Rose says, you've become strong. You can take care of yourself. Kill me if you wish. Rose says, why? Dart says, the black monster is dead. We only have a companion who is on the same road as us. I miss the time when you were chased by Fairbrand in the forest. Me too, says Dart. I didn't know anything back then. The world is so frail. Rose says the world is created so that it can perish at any time. The creator, Soa, can recreate one whenever he wishes. But the people living there can accept it, believing it is fate, or struggle against it. I struggled in order to protect this world that was taken back by friends who gave up their lives. Dart says, I told you. You're no longer alone. Rose says, Dart. Dart says, let's go and see everyone else. This is just the beginning. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Miranda is speaking with Heschel. Miranda says, "It's not true. The reason why I hate Rose is because I see my mother in roses." Miranda says, "My mother never looked at me directly. It was as if she was hiding something from me. She used to beat me. I didn't know what was going on and why she was doing it to me. But I remember at least one thing. There were always roses on the shelf besides my mother." Heschel says, "Why did your mother leave you?" Miranda says, "Let's not talk about it anymore. It'll ruin our drinks." Heschel says, "It's okay to be this way. Life is not always happy. Listening to your story reminds me of the past." Miranda says, "About your daughter, correct?" Heschel says, "You're so sharp it hurts." Miranda says, "I hate being roundabout." Dart says, "There you guys are." Miranda says, "When are we leaving? Heschel has been drinking too much since he heard we're going to Rogue." Heschel says, "That's right. Drink a little more, and then we'll leave. Of course, to save the world." Dart says, "I'll have a drink too." Rose says, "May I join you?" "I've been wanting to talk to you, Miranda." Miranda says, "Same here, Rose." Dart says, "Shall we go?" Okay. What in the fuck is this fucking shit? How do I leave this shithole? Albert says, "We're leaving in the morning." Dart says, "Yes, we are. What are you doing here?" Kongol says, "I don't know what will happen in the ancient city of the Wingleys, so we need a strong weapon. I don't care who leads us. I'll go with you till the end." Albert says, "This is no longer the mere problem of the moon gem. I cannot ignore the crisis of this world. You didn't imagine we wouldn't go with you, did you?" Dart says, "I didn't." The manager says, "Hurry up if you want to buy, your time is limited." Okay. Is that everybody? Did my weapon get messed up somehow? Mayor says, "Hey buddies, Karen was telling me about the teleporting device. It's not like the one back home. And when are we going? We already heard lots about it from Charlie and found out what we should do." Rose says, "Are you coming too?" Meru says, "Of course. Without me, the strongest of all, you cannot save the world. Besides, I learn a lot while following Dart. Everybody's the same, the Gigantos, the human, the Wingleys. I can't stand the destruction of a world where everyone lives." Rose says, "I think for the first time I actually agree with you, Meru." Meru says, "This is the first time." Karen says, "Leave here tomorrow morning. By that time I'll be prepared so that I can send you on the way that goes to the home of Gigantos from here." Dart says, "We can travel that far instantly? Then we might as well go directly to Rogue." Karen says, "Our power is weaker by the day." That is the most we can do. Dart says, I understand. Karen says you'll take a boat to Rogue from there. It should have been prepared in the Twin Castle just a short while ago. Dart says I didn't realize there was a dock there. Karen says I asked King Zior to make one especially for this purpose. Rose says I'm surprised he listened. Karen says there are no humans or winglies when it comes to the end of the world. You don't need to thank us. Now it is not too much to say that the mission of the city is to send you off. Rose says yes, and this is one way this city has been looking after the world. Let's go back to Charlie. She must have prepared our bedrooms by now. Alright, I guess we just gotta go to the teleporter. Which is somewhere. Dart says, Charlie, what's this? You naive boy, it's a send-off for our great heroes. Rose says you shouldn't have. Miata says, don't be so shy. Charlie says, Rosie, honey, you've been doing really great. Since the soul of the Virage embryo, the god of destruction, was released, you've saved the world at least 107 times. Miata says, really? After even being called a black monster. Rose says, stop it. The monster is dead. Charlie says Ziggy is serious and he has everything to give birth to the god of destruction. Only the Dragoons can stop him. I wonder what Creator Soa is thinking. Like destruction or regeneration. I wonder why it wants us to go through such a painful thing. Rose says we'll just have to change fate. Charlie says, everyone, I hope you survive. Karen says, now go. Zeeg won't wait for us. Dart says, right. And we are whisked away into the home of Giganto. It was linked to here. It's been a while, says Hashel. Meru says Karen and Gigantos were pals for a long time. Of course, it was when there were still some left. There were some nice winglies like Charlie as well. They're not all brutal people like the legend says. We need to rewrite the book in the National Library, says Miranda. Albert says, yes, correct knowledge brings correct conduct. Dart says that's after the journey ends. Let's go to see King Zior. We have to head to Rogue on the Queen Fury. Shazam! Those arrows are still getting shot. Even though all the bandits are dead. Hate this fucking place. What the fuck? God damn it. Lord. King Zior says, Dart, I've been waiting for you. Mirrors the ultimate waifu. Sorry, I had a guide up, so I might have missed that. Dart says, what is this? The king says, we are seeing you off. We received a messenger from Charlie. Her name was Karen. Everything is ready to go to get you to Rogue. The world must not be destroyed. Even if it was the intention of the Creator, we are still alive and living. I beg of you, please save the world. Commodore Puler is waiting for you in the basement to carry our hope. Dart says, so long. Alrighty, I guess this is the basement? Maybe. Puler says, there you are. Everyone looks confident. Although you are going to an unknown land, there is no hesitation or wavering. A man of the sea isn't bothered by those little details. Heschel says, it's actually my home village, but nobody gives a shit about that old creeper. Puler says, anyways, we're ready to go. We have to stop the crazy conspiracy to annihilate the world. However, we should never give up rescuing our loved ones either. Let us be going, Dart. The ocean awaits. Kayla says the Commodore makes it sound simple, but I assume that this time it'll be a long journey, won't it? Kayla says, I think you'd better get what you need from the city and come back. Dart says, thanks. Kayla says, it's okay, I'm happy to help you. Please, rescue Shauna. Albert says, we give you our promise. Heschel says, of course we will. Kayla says, we'll be waiting on the boats. Dart says, let's go. Alrighty. You over here, you motherfucker. We're ready. Oh, looks like I get to drive the boat. Oh yay, these fucking bird. He's just holding up a shield so that I can't kill it somehow. Hilarious. Oh my god. What is the point of this garbage? Alright, we're in Rogue. Wow! Sail ho! Heschel says, it's been a long time. I wonder if anyone remembers me. Heschel says, yeah, it's me. The mayor says it's been about 20 years. How have you been gone for so long? How have you been? Haschel says I was looking for my daughter, but I gave up. Claire, huh? I feel sorry to hear that. And who are all these people? Are they your pupils? Haschel says no. I'd like for you to get to know them. But we don't have the time now. I have something important to talk to you about. The mayor says, all right, I'll listen. Come on, get over there. The floor's gonna give away. Okie doke. Let me out of this fucking place. I've never seen people who weren't from Rogue. Tell me, what kind of place are you from? Your mama's fucking house. Baby! Alright. Hey, you said you have an important thing to talk to the mayor about. Go directly to his house and don't wander around. He's waiting for you. Yeah. Okay. Rogue is more like a family than a village. There are no animals in Rogue. Haschel says nothing's changed at all. The mayor says, no kidding, the village is forgotten. We rarely have visitors from the continent. A fisherman says all we do is sleep and fish. Practice and sleep. That's about it. Nothing has changed since you left. The mayor says, what's cooking? You came all the way here, so it's gotta be something important. Haschel says, yeah, to be honest, we're looking for the way to the ancient cities. What the heck are those? They were towns where the Wingleys lived, long ago. Dart says, do you know anything about them? The mayor says, what on earth are Wingleys? You lost me there. Haschel says, you couldn't know. Let me explain. They're bitches with wings. Anyways, Mayor of Rogue says, a world crisis. That's a pretty awful thing, then. Haschel says, that's why we're in a hurry. Dart says, are there any old ruins somewhere around here? Rose says, things that humans couldn't possibly make. How about this? There's a stick rising out from the sea. Could it be related? Oh yeah, indeed. Humans could not have made that. Dart says, where is that thing's location? The mayor says it's in the middle of the sea. You cannot get close by boat because there's a whirlpool, but you can see it from the cliff top. Well, it suddenly came up, so you wouldn't have known about it. Haschel says, let's give it a try. The mayor says, hope it's the one you folks want to go to. Alright. Alright. Where's this cliff top? Martel says, sorry, Lil, I tried my best. I don't want to talk to you, lady. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Dee-da-dee-doo. Let me out. Let me out. Shazam! Dart says that must be what the mayor was talking about. Haschel says there was no stick 20 years ago when I was here. Meru says it's huge. It looks more like a tower than a stick. Albert says this structure could never be made by human technology alone. Miranda says, Rose, do you know anything about it? Were you there before? Dart says that's right. Rose is one of the Dragoons who liberated the humans. Don't you remember anything? Rose says Charlie said the signet spheres remain in Aglis, Mayful, and Xenobatos. If I remember correctly, there was only one magical city Aglis in this region of the sea. Rose says Charlie must have made us come here because she thinks Z will go after the signet sphere of Aglis first. Miru says, Rose, a question please. What in the heck is the Law City? What do they mean by that? Albert says, I was thinking about that too. The Crystal Palace was called the Birth City. Rose says the Birth City was a place where babies were selected to be born. Dart says, selected babies. Rose says those with weak magical power were not allowed to be born. Miru says, how awful. Rose says the Death City Mayful was where the souls of the dead were sent to an infernal world. Miranda says Winglies in the past had even their destination after death decided for them. Do you want to know anything else? Says Rose. Alright, Forbidden Land. It was the capital of the Wingly world, dominated by Melbu Frama, the center of politics and the military. Albert says, that's why it was damaged. Miru says, and that's why they call it the Forbidden Land. Alright, we already did the Birth City. Alright. Law City is where the laws were made. Publicly, it was claimed to be for justice, but in reality there were laws to judge other species. Trials and executions were carried out there. Miranda says, I can easily imagine what kind of trials were there. Gives me the creeps. Alright. The Magical City was the city where magic was studied. Albert says, it's astonishing that even though they had that much magic, that they still studied it so deeply. Mirror says it could never happen today. Haschel says, you sure are carefree, Meryl. Meru, rather. Haschel says, you really know this stuff. If this is Aglis, how do we approach it? Rose says, I don't know, but we gotta hurry or Zeke will get there first. Dart says, well, we can't go by boat. We have to find another way. Okay. Apparently we're being spied on. Dart says, Rose, what's wrong? Rose says, we're being watched. Haschel says, what's going on? The sea is splitting, says the mayor. Dart says, let's go. Dart says, what the heck is that? The magical city has revealed itself. The mayor of Rogue says, Haschel, is that what you were looking for? Haschel says, seems like it. Thank God that it found us. Miranda says, now we can get in there before Zeeg. Dart says, let's go. Because he is a monotonous little guy. How do I get the fuck out of this place? Boat Daddy says, no kidding. You folks are gonna go right into the sea, aren't ya? I say yes. Don't you know what's going on? The sea split and weird stuff's happening. That's why we're here, says Dart. You guys are insane, says the old Boat Daddy. Dart says, oh my god, a road formed on the bottom of the sea. It's true. If we take a boat, we can walk from about midway. Let's just go to the magical city. There's no need to hesitate. Let's go now. Dart says, what's going on here? Meru says, magic. Someone is supporting this with magic. Albert says, it seems we've been invited. Dart says, how convenient. Miranda says, we have no reason to say no. Rose says, this door isn't locked either. Dart, go ahead and open it. Zeeg will come here to destroy the Signet Sphere. You'll have to finally settle things, so I want you to open the first door. Alright, whatever. You and you alone must open this goddamn door. Miru says, this is the bottom of the sea. Haschel says, what a great view. Miranda says, don't forget, we were invited here. Albert says, it's an incredible magic creating this much space under the water. Rose says, this city originally was not in such a suffocating place. All the Wingley cities used to float in the air. It was easier to control the creatures below from up there. And that's how it was until we shot them all down. Dart says, with my dad. Rose says, yes, Zeeg and myself and the other 5 Dragoons 11,000 years ago. And now we're here to protect the Signet Sphere. It feels strange to me. Dart says, what's going on? Kongal says the sea has closed. They don't want us to turn back, it seems. They are playing hardball. They're gonna play with my ball. Sounds sexy. Dart says, what the fuck is this thing? Ruff has been in here forever, Ruff. I only know the view and sound of here, Ruff. Miranda says it doesn't seem to be harmful. Ruff says it's rough, Ruff. Ruff doesn't want to say anything, but it's a message. Welcome 7 heroes fated to be here, and Rose, these thousands of years I've waited. We're neither as long as eternity nor as short as a mere twinkle of a star. People who confront their fate with courage. I forgot the rest. Okay. Rose says, how do you know my name? Dart says, who brought this message to us? Ruff only knows what Ruff hears. Ruff doesn't know anything else. Ruff. Anyways, Miranda says, are you on Zeke's side? Answer me, or I'm gonna mess you up. Ruff says Ruff has never seen it, and doesn't know what that means. If you show it to me, it should be some rough stuff, Ruff. Miru says, hey, Miranda. He didn't do anything. Miru says, sorry we scared you. This baby's made by magic. Rose says there wasn't such technology even during the Dragon campaign. Miru says you gotta believe it because it's right in front of our eyes. He's totally cute. Ruff says, Ruff is cute? Then you are not cute, but Rose is the exception. Rose says if you're gonna treat me as such, why don't you take me to the Signet Sphere? Ruff says it's your challenge to go by yourself. All is for the sake of the psychedelic bomb and moot. Ruff is going. It's rough. Dart says, well, we gotta go anyway. I never thought I was gonna say rough so many times in sequence in my entire fucking life, but here we all are, kids. Apparently they left a bunch of monsters down here to attack us for some reason. Weird, it didn't seem like there was any other way to go, but I must have missed something. Well, unfortunately, I'm a little bit lost. I need to take a little bit of a break anyway, but I will be back on. I plan on finishing the game tonight, so probably give me like 10-15 minutes. I need some water and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna halt the broadcast, and I'll be back on in a little bit later with more.